our own detriment. Every problem that the white man has introduced into the black community, the black church has taken that problem, evangelicized it in a way that makes black people think it either ain't that bad or there's nothing they can do about it until Jesus comes. That's slave time religion. And my issue with black religion is my issue with black politics. Why we still engaging in the same religious culture we engaged in on the plantation. See, on the plantation, all you could do was pray to God because you was in chains. God had to solve your problems. You weren't allowed to do shit. Now you $2 trillion in America, at least half as much in Canada. You understand? You got enough revenue to do something for yourself now, but we still on hands and knees begging God. Part of the science of prayer, as I teach, you pray for what you can't do. You never pray for what you can do. To pray for what you can do is an insult against the Creator. You see what I'm saying? Too often we're praying for what we can do. God ain't gonna respond to you. Why would God respond to you when you got the ability to do it yourself? To ask of the Creator to do something for you that you...
Welcome and thank you for watching. As you know, this is Afro Revolt, a channel that always try to bring to you whatever is trending across the globe. So religion is something that has taken a long time for so many people to understand, and it begs a question of what really religion means, and on this, what does it mean to the black race? Is it something that was created to control the livelihoods of the blacks? Was it a choreography to ensure that Africa is under control of the Western countries? This is what we are trying to unravel in this video, whereby Umar Johnson is speaking about the religious leaders in the black community and how religion has played a big role in shaping the livelihoods in the black community. Let's watch and make a comment.
That's perfect. Can we go into the religious topic there, based off of that? So you've been kind of very outspoken about like religious leaders. I think specifically in the Joe Budden Patreon episodes,
So he did release both episodes.
He did. They were
the second
both
one is out.
Yes, the second one, and that was a while ago.
The other day and say why Joe Budden ain't released part 2.
So maybe that's on YouTube, but I have Joe Budden's Patreon.
And
so
on the Patreon, the whole interview can be seen.
I watched both the interviews. It's part 1 and part 2.
Okay, so I can let them know it's out there.
Yes. So, and you specifically called religious leaders or pastors. I think you were specifically talking about pastors. Maybe the ones that you've experienced. I'm not sure if you were being general when you were saying it, but you called them kind of narcissists. You said they're doing it a lot of the time for their own, to fulfill their egos. Is that based on your experience, or is that something that you believe as a whole? And I'll go into something a little bit. My dad's a pastor, and I've specifically watched him my entire life. He became a pastor, I believe, 2 years before I was born, and I watched him my entire life not be that person, not be the narcissist, not do it for the money, and really be, first of all, an activist within my community in Toronto, and actually helping people. One thing that you talk about a lot is building institutions, and he's definitely not been able to build a building as an institution, but he himself has been an institution for people. Whether it's religious, whether it's if you need groceries and you're broke, he's done that for people. He's done everything. So when you speak about pastors like that, is that based on your experience, or is that based on something that you think is a general thing? Like, do you think that's for
based
everybody?
on my study of the institution of religion amongst African people all around the world, historically and in modern times? So there are exceptions to the rule. Okay, my 4 times great grand uncle, a gentleman by the name of Bishop Henry. Excuse me, I'm confusing Bishop Henry Turner with Bishop Alexander Wayman. Okay, so Bishop Alexander Wayman, who was the 7th bishop under Richard Allen in the African and Methodist Episcopal Church. That is my 4 times great grand uncle. My 3 times great grandfather was married to his niece, my grandmother Annie Wayman. Okay, he was a manager of the Philadelphia Underground Railroad. He fought against slavery. I believe he helped recruit for the Civil War. He was a preacher. Bishop Henry McNeil Turner was a race man and a preacher. Most of my Pan-Africanist forefathers were pastors. Henry Highland Garnett, pastor. Alexander Crummell, pastor. Henry McNeil Turner, pastor. Edward Wilmot Blyden, pastor. You follow me?
Yeah.
So I don't have an issue with the church because my Pan-Africanist forefathers were of the church. Yeah. My issue is the way in which the black church has been reconstructed in modern time, right? Into an institution of exploitation, no longer an institution of salvation. In other words, pastors and politicians are no longer what they used to be for black people in this world, right?
That's true.
And when you look at the church, it almost deifies poverty. It almost deifies powerlessness. The way in which religion is taught to black people makes them comfortable being oppressed. It no longer has a revolutionary spirit because remember, religion was at the heart of the Haitian Revolution, but it was African religion. Dr. King was a pastor. Malcolm was a Muslim. You see, so we've seen where religion was used as a revolutionary force, but how long has it been since we've seen religion be used as a revolutionary force? In my opinion, religion takes three things from black people we cannot afford to waste: too much of our time, too much of our money, and too much of our hope and energy. The reason why governments are not afraid of black religion anymore, because black religion protects the government by evangelicizing oppression as if it's coming from God and not the white man. In other words, we got to wait on God to fix our problems as opposed to rising up against the white power structure and crushing it. How many black preachers can we say in Toronto right now or Montreal right now? How many pastors can you look to that are fighting against the miseducation system in Canada, fighting against, and I've seen the unemployment, fighting against the mass incarceration? It's almost like here in America.
It definitely is.
Look at the major problems we have in Canada. Show me a black church that's at the forefront, not participating, because anybody could go to a meeting. Anybody could join a march. Anybody could show up to a press conference. Show me a church that's at the forefront. I'm the leader. We're going to fix these schools. I'm the leader. We're going to get economic justice. You can't find them, just like we can't find them here, just like you can't find them in Africa. The black church is no longer a vanguard organization. It is a parasite. It is a spiritual parasite until it goes back to its traditional role. Remember now, historically, we fought the KKK through the church. We got jobs through the church. We buried our dead through the church. Life insurance through the church. The black church was the Walmart of the black community.
Listen.
You need it, they had it. What happened to that? The black church is now serving itself. It's no longer serving God.
And do you believe that, is that specifically with Christianity, or do you think that other religions as well?
Parasitic. Now, Christianity is the most capitalist minded of the religions. Islam is not as capitalist minded, but guess what? It is still anti-revolutionary. It is still anti-African culture in many regards. I was raised Muslim. Philadelphia has the largest percentage of African-American Sunni Orthodox Muslims in the United States. Dearborn has the most Muslims overall, but they Arab. If you're dealing with American Africans, non-Nation of Islam, Orthodox Muslim, Philadelphia has more than any city in America. I was raised in it. I was raised in the very masjid that I believe the Nation of Islam used to own. You understand? Before Warithudeen Muhammad took over his father's organization, shut that down, and came with the American Muslim movement. I was raised in one of those mosques. You understand? But I had to walk away, because I saw how we completely ignored black people's problems. We completely ignored black culture. We completely ignored the black reality. It was all Islam. Learn your Arabic. And I'm like, I'm a practicing Arab. I'm not practicing Islam. I'm practicing Arabism. Why do I got to learn Arab language to worship God? Why do I got to eat like the Arab to worship God? Why do I got to dress like the Arab to worship God? This is not the worship of God. This is the deification of Arabic culture. And that's why I walked away from it. And now African spirituality is my foundation. But that would have never happened had I never go to Africa in 2005 and go into that Goree Island slave dungeon. And them ancestors literally grabbed me that day. And I went through a whole spiritual renaissance in my hotel room literally that day. And that's what brought me to African spirituality. I speak in churches all the time. I have nothing against the church. There are some who do some good things. But as a system, black religion, I don't care if you're talking Islam, Christianity, Judaism, black religion as a whole, Seventh-day Adventists, Jehovah's Witnesses, even African spirituality to an extent, they have pushed colorblind philosophy on black people to our own detriment. Every problem that the white man has introduced into the black community, the black church has taken that problem, evangelicized it in a way that makes black people think it either ain't that bad or there's nothing they can do about it until Jesus comes. That's slave time religion. And my issue with black religion is my same issue with black politics. Why are we still engaging in the same religious culture we engaged in on the plantation? See, on the plantation, all you could do was pray to God because you was in chains. God had to solve your problems. You weren't allowed to do shit.
Yeah.
Now you $2 trillion in America, at least half as much in Canada. You understand? You got enough revenue to do something for yourself now. But we still on hands and knees begging God. Part of the science of prayer, as I teach, you pray for what you can't do. You never pray for what you can do. To pray for what you can do is an insult against the Creator. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Too often we're praying for what we can do. God ain't gonna respond to you. Why would God respond to you when you got the ability to do it yourself? To ask of the Creator to do something for you that you can do yourself is to make a mockery of the Most High.
So would you say that you're looking for kind of just more of an advancement of what that old culture is around
I'm looking
religion,
for a
like progression?
reconstruction.
Okay,
It needs to be
reconstruction.
reconstructed.
Reconstruction.
And to your point that you opened up with,
Yeah.
I do believe that 99.9% of all religious leaders are in it for themselves.
Got you.
I look at all the brothers I know who went to jail, came out, opened up a church because it was the only hustle that was there. You know, I look at all the politicians who fell from grace, you know, or celebrities fell from grace, opened up a church because it was the only hustle that was available. You know what I mean? Like, we have to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, although there are some people who go into the ministry for the purpose of serving the Lord, most people go into politics and religion to serve themselves.
Got you. Okay.
In equal numbers, you think in equal numbers people go into politics at the equal number or equal rate as people going into religion to serve themselves?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
And if you disagree with that, show me a concrete, practical benefit of black religion in Canada that our people have realized in the past 30 years, something significant.
I'd say Crawford. So Crawford Adventist Church.
So what have they done? Give me the result. I don't need
The
to
result. So basically, there's a school in Toronto called Crawford. I went to the school.
Okay.
95% black.
Okay.
Some people at the school, black teachers as well, and they have about a 95% graduation rate.
Okay.
As well.
How long has Crawford been in existence?
Well over 30 years.
Okay. And how many students
And
go to
it's
the
an
school?
Adventist school from grade 1 to 12. I'd say about 200 to 300 kids.
I appreciate the fact that they have a school,
Yeah.
but I'm wondering though, after 30 years, why do you only have one school? My second question to you, do I have to be a Christian to go to that school?
No.
Okay. Okay. Then I can live with that, but they should have more than one by now.
So I think the challenge is they're Adventist, and there's a bit of bureaucracy between the channels of the Adventist like board. You know,
Okay.
so I think they're kind of dealing with that.
Yeah, they're not big enough to. They're just not big enough or popular enough to actually do that. Whereas
Why are they
Catholic schools
still
are
under the
everywhere.
Adventist umbrella? The Adventist is a white congregation.
That's the challenge.
Why are they
And,
under-
and what's happening is that there's an Adventist.
Be unapologetically African.
Facts.
Facts, yeah.
Facts.
Yeah, they're dealing with that right now. Shout out to Crawford. Shout out to everybody who went to Crawford. Speaking of, actually, there's a lot of success stories out of that. Matter of fact, out of the other school, Kingsway College, is where Daniel Caesar came from.
Okay.
But, yeah.
And salute the Crawford for the school. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's a relevant institution.
Yep.
Now, give me a church that's involved in some serious political agitation against police brutality, gentrification, economic genocide, mass incarceration, miseducation.
Okay, so I'd say Scarborough SDA. They have a prison program that they do, where they go into the prisons and.
I ain't talking about no prison ministry.
Okay.
What are they doing to fight against the system of mass incarceration?
We're trying.
Religion is a tool that the white man is using to ensure that blacks remain under their control for a long time. Let me tell you how it happens. Religious teachings have always been based on ensuring that everyone knows that God is superior and he is a white, whereby pictures of Satan have always come out to be black. Does it mean that whites are more superior than the blacks, or was it depicting a sense of superiority on the black man? Is religion something that was created to ensure that Africa remains under control for a long time? This is something we have to unravel so that we understand what really religion is. I don't want to talk much on this video because it has also proven that religious leaders take advantage of their followers to make resources and become rich in the African societies. They have turned these groupings to be where they milk the poor Africans and subject them to high level of poverty without caring about their livelihoods. It's a matter of time that we have to understand what religion is so that we know who God is. Does he need a society where people are suffering on streets, yet money is collected in churches to go to preachers who become massively rich at the expense of the poor people? In some instances, they lie to their congregation that if you give some offerings, they'll get some blessings in terms of money, cars, houses, big houses, which has been ways of brainwashing the African continent or the black man. It is high time we open our eyes as black man. So I said, as I've said earlier, I don't want to talk much on this video, but I want you to tell me what you feel about religion in the black community in the comment section, so that when we come to our discussions, we know what really religion means to the black society. Hit our comment section and tell us what you feel. Also, if you're watching us for the first time, kindly consider making a subscription and share this video. Thank you, and may God bless you.